Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Pantherology. This is the first episode, and I'm so excited to bring you some content of the Carolina Panthers. We're going to talk about the Panther schedule. So let's get right into it, all right, guys? So, first game on the schedule is the Las Vegas Raiders. So, Las Vegas is in town in Charlotte. Now, Jon Gruden, I still think is a great coach. I just don't know if things for them are going to work out between him and Derek Carr, and then they added on Henry Ruggs, and they got my boy Bryan Edwards from South Carolina. To predict from them this year, I really don't know if they're going to, have that breakout year or not. I personally don't think so. I don't think that they put it all together. I mean, Henry Ruggs, yes, was a great add-on. They got Hunter Renfrow, who seems to be a solid wide receiver, who's based out of Myrtle Beach, which is where I'm from, so I got to give him some credit. And then they got Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs. I don't think it's going to be enough, and just not this year. It might, if they continue to run this train, it might be next year. It might be the year after that. They're kind of still in that rebuilding stage. So I predict a win here. I think we beat them like 30-17. I think Teddy Bridgewater and Robbie Anderson and adding those guys into the mix. And then you, of course, as always, Christian McCaffrey, who's a stud. And then you've got Mike Davis backing him up, who's a big power back, can run over some dudes. And then you've got Robbie Anderson with Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. That brings a lot of help towards Teddy Bridgewater and that offense. I think we win the first game of the season, and a solid win too. I think this year, though, we are going to struggle a little bit on defense because we are young, but I think how we drafted this year was absolutely perfect. I mean, couldn't ask for any better draft, in my opinion. I like how we went defense, and that's really what we need to focus on, especially with the fact that we did lose Luke. So, first win of the season, Las Vegas Raiders, 30-17. All right, now, Tampa Bay Bucks. Where do I even start? Tampa Bay, they got Tom Brady, then they add on Gronk, and have O.J. Howard, and have Godwin, and then you have Mike Evans. I mean, I don't know how many much more weapons you need. And Bruce Arians is a great coach. I don't know if they'll put it all together this year. I mean, you can't say they're not a Super Bowl contender when you got Tom Brady as your quarterback. I just don't know if that offensive line is going to hold up. That's my question. That's what I question the most. We are at the Bucks in this game, and I say we lose. Defensively, we're just not going to match up to them. Not with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and O.J. Howard and Gronk. When you've got those weapons and you got Tom Brady throwing the ball to him, yeah, it's going to be a problem. But I question that offensive line, so we'll see. We'll see how that offensive line holds up, because when Jameis was there last year, he was running for his life. All right, next game. So we got win, loss. So we're 1-1. Los Angeles Chargers. We're at Los Angeles after being at Tampa Bay. You got Tyrod Taylor, you got Austin Eckler, Hunter Henry, got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. All right. Another high-powered offense. Great wide receivers. You got a great running back. We're playing the Bucks, except Tyrod Taylor's the quarterback. We lose because of the defense. It's just, there's no way around it. I'm not saying we're going to lose badly. I'm predicting we'll probably lose to the Chargers I think 21-10. I don't think that's bad. But, I think it's going to be a close one, and then they'll probably pull away. And we're home against the Arizona Cardinals. They're my dark horse, okay? I think Kyler Murray's going to have a breakout season. I think adding on DeAndre Hopkins and Kenyon Drake from last year, I mean, when you add a great running back like Kenyon Drake is, and then you have probably the best wide receiver in the league to their roster, and then you got Cliff Kingsbury, who's an offensive genius. I think they put the tangibles together and basically kick our ass. I'm predicting them to beat us 28-7. The Cardinals are going to be a very good team. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a breakout season. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have 1,000 yards receiving. I think even Kenyon Drake's going to have 1,000 yards rushing. So we are win, loss, loss, loss. So we are 1-3 right now. All right. Now, next game. We are at the Atlanta Falcons. I really think Atlanta's going to be tough too. They do lose Austin Hooper, but they do add Hayden Hurst, who's a Gamecock. Hayden Hurst going to be a solid, if not maybe one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. In my opinion, I've seen Hayden Hurst play in college, and he was great in college. He didn't get much start over at Baltimore because Baltimore has Andrews. So I think that adding him, and then they get Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley seems to be 100% now. And then you have Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, and then you have Matty Ice. I mean, it's another high-powered offense, and we're at the Falcons. It's hard for me to say that we're going to win this game because we're not. It's not going to happen. We're not going to win this game. I predict 31-17. We'll lose. I think Atlanta is a solid team. All right, so we are 1-4. All right, so going into game 6, we are home for the Chicago Bears. Now, this is going to be a fun one. They add on Nick Foles. They got Tyreek Cohen, David Montgomery, Anthony Miller, A-Rob, Allen Robinson. Solid weapons. Mitch Trubisky, who I don't think is that great of a quarterback. He says this is his team, but I really think Nick Foles is going to take that starting position away from him. I really think that the Bears will be solid, but when we're home, I don't see us losing to the Bears. I just don't. I think that, throughout the year, I think Carolina's going to put the tangibles together with Teddy Bridgewater and those guys, especially when you got Christian McCaffrey. It's just, I think things will come together, but it's going to be later on in the season. So I give us the win here. So we're 2-4 going into New Orleans against the Saints. At the Saints. So I'm going to go ahead and just say this is a loss. When they've got Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, you got Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, you got Jared Cook, and then you have Drew Brees coming back healthy. It's hard for me to say that we're going to win that game. So that's a loss. So we're 2-5. Now we're at home against Atlanta. We split the series against Atlanta. We win this game at home. I think that after we come off that loss against New Orleans, and we lost to Atlanta already once, and we lost to Arizona, get the win in Chicago. But I just really think that when we get home against Atlanta, we're starting to get things rolling. We're starting to put a little bit together. I don't think that Atlanta's defense is as good as it's been in the past. Now, offensively, yeah, I mean, there's no question. So I give us the win there. Now we are 3-5, and then we're at Kansas City. So that Atlanta win is a must win at home. Like, us beating Atlanta at home is a must win. That's why I give it to them, because we know we have to win it, because we're going to go to Kansas City and Pat Mahomes is just going to destroy us, pick us apart. Now we're home for Tampa Bay. I give us the win. We lose to Kansas City. We need a win, and I still question that offensive line of Tampa Bay. So I give us the win. We're home again the next week against Detroit. Stafford's in town. I like Matthew Stafford. He's got Kenny Galloway, Marvin Jones, and then they got the add-on of DeAndre Swift, and they got Hickerson. We're home against the Lions. I think we get this win. I like Detroit, but I think that we get the win against Detroit. Then we go to Minnesota. Minnesota is tough for me. You have Adam Thielen, you got Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins. I just don't see them being that good. They lost Stephon Diggs on the offensively. Defensively, they are very good. They're solid in the defensive department. But offensively, I don't think I've never believed in Kirk Cousins. I've never thought he was that good. I think he's average quarterback. He's a starter, but I put Teddy Bridgewater ahead of him, absolutely. But he's not like Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes or Tom Brady or any of these guys that we talk about. He's not like that great. I don't even think he's better than Teddy Bridgewater, just like I just said. I think we get the win there. I mean, they lose Stephon Diggs. Dalvin Cook's a great running back, but I think losing Stephon Diggs and Kirk Cousins not having really much to throw to besides Adam Thielen, in my opinion, they're not going to be that great offensively. Defensively, they are solid, though. So now, after Minnesota, we're 6-6. We're a 500 team. So week 13, we're bye. Now we're into week 14 home against Denver. I like Drew Lock. I like what they bring to the table offensively. Of course, defensively, they're solid. I just don't know if they're going to be that great, though. I don't know if they're going to put it all together or not. And we're home, and I don't think that they're going to be that great on offense. I really think that even though they got Melvin Gordon, they still got Phillip Lindsay, Noah Fent, who's going to be, I think is actually going to be a stud at the tight end. And then, of course, they're great defensively. I just don't know how good Drew Lock really is. And I'd say we take the win there. So we're 7-6 after week 14, going to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, they didn't add anything to Aaron Rodgers. They still got Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Devontae Adams. I still think Green Bay is going to be a solid team, and they're going to be tough to beat. I don't know how good they're going to be. I still think they're probably going to be a playoff team. When you got Aaron Rodgers, it's kind of hard for me to think that you can't put them in that playoff conversation. But I say we take the loss. We're at Green Bay. Then we're at Washington. Going into Washington, we're 7-7. We leave Washington 8-7. Redskins are still rebuilding, and I don't think Dwayne Haskins is that good. Then we're home for New Orleans, and that's the last game of the year. I think that we win that game, obviously, because the Saints are probably not going to play their starters. The Saints are probably going to play, their backups and to get ready for the playoffs. So I think that we finish out the season 9-7. I really do. Comment, give me a like, and subscribe, guys. This is my first video. There will be more coming. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and thanks for listening.